Michigan
Oh yeah,
lawmaker
yeah, yeah.
proposes combating teenage or teacher shortage with changes to substitute requirements. All right,
Hmm.
take it away with this one. Tell us
Okay.
about it.
Okay. So Michigan is proposing this change in substitute teaching, right? And essentially, it'll allow anyone to become a substitute teacher, provided you have a high school diploma and you're 21 years or older. But if you're 19, if you're 19, you can teach like eighth grade and lower as long as you're enrolled in a prep course for teachers. And it's just wild to me because like the current standard is that you have to have 60 college credits in order to be a substitute teacher, and they just want to eliminate that. And the purpose is because we have a teacher shortage right now, and so for some reason they think it's a good idea to try to get people interested in teaching by just basically allowing anybody to walk into the classroom. And obviously I'm sure that schools would vet people to the degree that they vet teachers, background checks, that kind of thing, but we already have a really big problem when it comes to predators getting into the school systems, and there's already been thousands of cases of teachers and staff and faculty, being predators and using the role of a teacher. Like, that's how predators operate. They get in where the kids are. So it doesn't matter if it's a school, it doesn't matter if it's medical, it doesn't matter. That's why I get really irritated with the whole drag queen thing. People act like people can't be a predator. It's like, no, they just go where the kids are. They see an opportunity, they take it. Doesn't mean everybody in this group is a predator. It means that you're letting them in. And I think this teacher thing is really dangerous, and like it's being framed in such a way that, oh well, now like different staff members can just substitute teach, and it might get people interested in teaching and stuff like that. And it's just like, I just don't feel like that's appropriate. I don't feel like it's appropriate to use the classroom in this way of, well, we need teachers, so like let's let anybody just substitute teach.
No.
And then there's also been like several cases that have come out of Texas specifically of like horrible, horrendous things happening in a classroom while a teacher is present. So if our regular teachers can't even do their jobs, which again, that's in Texas, not Michigan, but a lot of crazy stuff happens in Michigan too when it comes to the school system. So, but if normal teachers aren't even doing their jobs correctly, and like, why would you let anybody just walk into a classroom? Like, I'm about to go substitute teach, like, F it, like, not really, but why? I mean, it's
you got
a crazy concept.
You got two kids to teach as it is. You don't have time to be going out there and substitute teaching. But no, what really gets me is like, you made some little points in here. Like right now it's 60 college credits that you must have to substitute teach. You're already hitting that woke indoctrination at that kind of point to go for, like, it was. Even when I was in college, the woke stuff wasn't that prevalent, but it was still a thing. It was still like, oh, you can't think this way kind of situation. And I had to curb what I was doing to pass. The only class that I had in college that was actually worth anything, that I had a freedom of expression kind of situation, a freedom of thought, was this one class that we were having about artificial intelligence. That was the only class where I felt like I had free reign to say what I thought and how I felt. So if they're already got 60 college credits, they're already in that indoctrination zone, and they're already going to push that on children, which it made it kind of questionable to me. Like, I know this has been going on for a minute, and this has always been the kind of norm for a while, but it's kind of like a gatekeeping situation. And they're trying to help the teacher shortage with this, but this is not the way you go about it. Just like anybody with a high school diploma. I know a lot of dumb people out there with a high school diploma.
I know a lot of dumb people with PhDs.
Well, go out into the public and ask people what the order of operations is. Mm-hmm. You will find that a lot of people don't understand. I'm pretty sure we've got somebody in the chat that don't know their order of operations. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Right. Parentheses,
Parentheses.
exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. You know, parentheses and powers are on the same. You do that. Then it's multiplication and division. They're on the same level. You do that. Addition and subtraction, they're the last level. You do that last. But there are a lot of people out there that don't even know how to do that. So when you come across like 2 plus 2 times 4 equals what? They're like 84. How the
Well, I'm not good at math, okay? So, like, I struggle with that kind of thing.
math and science were my best.
Like, for instance, I've taken, like, algebra courses and, like, cried because, like, I get so frustrated and I don't understand things. And that's really easy. Algebra's very easy math. You always multiply
I like this
6,000
one.
by 1,000 and discount the amount of ovens. That's basically what my brain does, bro. It's like somebody I remember getting like doing like job interviews. Wow, call me. Yeah, exactly, bro. Like I feel attacked. I'm an idiot. I know what the please excuse me dear Sally thing is, right? But like to actually implement it, it's very difficult for me. Like I get confused and I'm not wired that way. My strong suit is English and writing and that kind of.
It is a strong point in math, and it's something that people have to know because you can lay it out in a term like, okay, what's 2 times 4? Well, okay, that's 8. Now plus 4. Okay, that's 12. But if you do what's 2 times 2 plus, or 2 plus 2 times 4, everybody's like 2 plus 2 is 4 times 4 is 16. No, you've come to the wrong answer.
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
You don't understand, yeah.
The order of operations just breaks it down a lot easier. To where, once you follow that, you come to it's without the extra steps part. And it makes it a lot easier. But we're also coming to an age where people can't do 2 plus 2 without using a calculator. So there's that.
That's me.
I'm attacking her left and right tonight, apparently.
No. So what happens is so my husband has actually tried to help me a few times too, and he's tried to be like, okay, so when you do math, you just round up to the nearest 5 or 10, and then you have to subtract after the fact, and yada yada. And that confuses me more. It makes it worse.
Wait, hold up.
So
I thought I was the only one that did that. No, I thought I was the only one that did that. If it's 73 plus 84, I will round up. Okay, let's take the 3 off 73, add it to the 84. 4, 5, 6, 7, 87 plus 70.
That's just
it's easier.
Confusing to me.
No,
That's
it's
so wild.
It's
not how my brain works.
If you do 73 plus 84, you're trying to do this. Let's just, 73 plus 84. Take 3 away from 73. That makes it 70. Okay, 84 plus 3, because that's got to go somewhere, which makes it 87. Now, 87 plus 70 is what? It's a lot easier. Once you get the hang of it, it is a lot easier to just borrow things from... That's the way I went in my head with it. Because I was actually taught that way. That's
the way that people who are good at math do math. That's literally... My husband's very good at math. He's very good at math. And he needs to be. He's a mechanic. He does, lots of mathy things and lots of measurements and stuff like that, right? Lots of conversions and I don't know. But that's
a long way about it, but yes.
My brain does not work in that fashion. And when somebody asks me a math question, I just internally panic for a while. And then I guess. That's usually what happens.
Oh, this is going to be a great little segment to break down. But no, it's like when I was growing up at school, what my math teacher.
They said that we'd never have a calculator in our pocket at all times, and guess what? Those bitches were wrong. Okay, because we do.
Look, I can do math in my head very fucking easy, but I still reach for that calculator.
It's very It's
but no, my math teacher when I was younger, I was struggling a little bit with math, and then my math teacher. She's just she had a conversation with me. And this is I was in an after school kind of situation trying to make up some shit that I didn't do, apparently, because that's my life. But she was sitting there talking to me. And after about a 20-minute conversation, she's like, okay, look at this. Now, we were talking about multiplication problems and everything like that because it just didn't click in my head. take this number, multiply it out, write a zero, because why the zero? Well, this is a number right here. It means this. And no, she's just like, okay, look, you got, this is a problem. 83 times 20. Okay. What is 83 times 2? Okay. Now add a zero because it's a multiplication of 10. Just write that zero off to the side and drop it down immediately. That way you don't have to write 0 times 3 is 0. 0 times 8 is 0. It's always going to be 0, so just write it at the end immediately. And I was just like, it clicked in that moment. I was just like, just rearrange them in my head. It's almost like an autistic kind of thing to where I could just like, even when I'm doing it.
Spectrum.
I could be, because even when I'm doing it, you'll see me just like, either I'm writing it down with my finger, like on nothing. I'll just find a flat surface and just start drawing with my finger the problem. And it's like I see the problem with, my finger, like an after image kind of situation. And I can do it that way, or I'll do it in the air kind of situation.
That's how I like, that's actually how my brain works when I like spell words. Like, so
I'm fucked
for me to
with
spell
spelling.
a word, I have to like imagine it. I have to like visualize the word, right? So like that's a lot of times like I have to actually physically write it down. It's like I know how to spell it, but I have to actually write it down. Because I think it really has a lot to do with how our brains just memorize things. So a lot of times we memorize things in like a whole as opposed to like pieces. Like so like words, you can actually rearrange all of the letters except if you leave the first letter and the last letter and you rearrange all the rest of them, your brain knows what the word is. Like,
yeah, it's fine. It's weird. It's unless it's just like one of those I guess ad hominem's not really the thing, but it's like if it was like not stole, but what are those words that like are just, they're spelled the same but mean exactly opposites kind of situation? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh god, yeah.
Unless it's something like that, because then you need the whole context of the actual sentence to understand what that word's supposed to be. But like I can, like people would just be like, oh, English much? Oh, like the grammar Nazi kind of situation. I don't even care if you misspell a word because my brain's going to understand what you're trying to say. That's just a pathetic attack.
They're homonyms.
Yeah, homonym. Okay, so I was close. I added "ad" in front of it. But yeah. I know. But no.
Bro, same, okay? It's not my best moment in life, okay?
But yeah.
I don't like math.
Let's see. Intelligence is the ability to learn. Yes, that is what actual IQ is. When you take an IQ test, that's what it's studying. It's not your ability to regurgitate information. It's your ability to learn. But if you sat down to learn the math, could you? Yes, or intelligence is fluid. I always say ignorance can be taught, stupid can't. And that is true. If you're ignorant to something, you can learn about it. But if you're completely stupid on the fact, there is no teaching that. It's like if I sat down and talked to Ashley about how black holes work. None of that's going to make sense to her. No matter in layman's terms how I break it down, none of it's going to make sense, and she's going to feel like I'm just talking down to her at that.
Okay, so you know what is funny? You want to hear something funny? And I'll tell everybody. I'll embarrass myself a little bit. So I was my husband was like trying to explain to me why money is valuable. Like because it's not backed by anything, right? And he was like, it's valuable because we say it's valuable. And I was like, what? And he was this is like years ago, and like it comes up every once in a while because I'm always like, why? Like I think I just had asked him like, how does money work if it's not backed by anything? And, it's the stupid question, I guess, but
money only works because you have faith in it.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just like, so we're out here just living on a dream? And he was like, yeah. He thought it was the funniest thing. But
I mean, if we put value into the rocks in your lawn there, that would be our currency.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, and he said there's been other societies that have had different types of currency, and that just it's valuable because it's valuable. It's valuable because they believe it's valuable, and
right.
That's what it is. And it's just very interesting. You know what I mean? So It's
But
weird.
I mean
It's all
that
this made up concepts.
that's how like gold became something like it was incredibly rare and hard to find at a point, so it became like an incredibly valuable thing. So when people
Mhm.
would prospect for gold and they'd melt it down into a coin, that became a standard because it was a valuable thing. It was hard to find, it was hard to get to, so it became a standard. Now we've come on to this denim like paper money situation that is backed by absolutely nothing but the price of oil. Like, we have put ourselves on an oil standard instead of a gold standard, so there is absolutely nothing to back our dollar bill, which is why it's crashing. We don't own
Yeah,
the
well,
oil industry, we
they're
don't have a dominant market on it, so our dollar bill is worthless.
yeah, well, they're also just pumping more into circulation, which depreciates the value of money in and of itself. Like you
Oh my
can't.
god, have you guys I'm going to bring that up there, the M1 money supply. That is ridiculous. Like, there is a huge curve on that, and it is incredibly disturbing to see this trend. Like, share this tab. Like, this is the way we pumped money. Like, this starts from 1960, and then all of a sudden, 2010, there starts a spike. 2020, it shoots the fuck up there because that's when COVID. That's the whole thing with the pandemic and everything. But look at that. Let's see. Can we? Let me take this down a bit. Look at that curve. From January
That's not even
2020, the pandemic
Bro, that's
starts,
not
and then all of a sudden, April 2020, boom.
It's not even a curve. That's just a.
That's
Just
a hockey stick. That's a hockey stick. And y'all wonder why inflation happened? That's the reason. It just went from, hey, it's kind of valuable. There's 400,000 billion in circulation, and all of a sudden 16.2 billion in circulation. So, I mean, the value of it was cut by a quarter.
All those stimulus checks, all that, those bailouts, all that. They could have just not shut down the economy.
And of course, where is it? Where was the March or April? And of course, we dig into the feeding the Ukraine situation, and then all of a sudden, we're starting to fight inflation. Like, this is incredibly scary just to see this, and this is why your double cheeseburger from McDonald's came up to what, $4, almost $4 now. That's the reason why.
Everything is so expensive. It is insane.
This is fine.png.
Like, yeah, I thought that was really funny. It's getting concerning, like, because I had a kind of like a black pilled moment the other day, and I was like, people are right to a degree that, because I was listening to Jeremy and Sydney's, community note stream, and it just got me kind of off on a brain tangent.
The last one, everybody was fighting everybody.
sure.
Everybody had a
I kind
problem in that stream.
I know. I popped in and out. I wasn't able to like watch it all the way through, and I just haven't gone back and watched it yet. So,
It was a
some
shit
of what I
show.
missed,
There's no
but-
point. You didn't miss anything other than a whole bunch of people
Well-
fighting a whole bunch of people.
Well, now I want to go see. But anyway,
Thanks for watching this clip of the Off Label Podcast. Look, we all hate to be told this, but just like me, everybody needs a reminder once in a while. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good jazz. Make sure this information keeps getting out there to people. We need to be able to start talking to each other once again in a good, healthy, conversational way.